The sun loomed high in the afternoon sky above Blight Mansion. Luz and King sat huddled outside the mansion gate as multiple automatons patrolled the yard, searching for any sign of lurking outsiders.
Luz, are you sure about this?
King asks.
I know Etta said Amity could come, but are you really gonna risk getting pummeled over a party?
Luz remained steadfast, staring determinedly at Amity's balcony. The moment Ida had told her about tonight's New Year's Eve party, Luz knew who she needed to bring. After all, any excuse to give her new girlfriend a kiss at midnight would be worth a couple bruises.
King, you're either in or out, 'cause Mama needs her snuggle bug, and no one, not even these goo guys, can stop me,
she boasted. A smirk appeared across her face before she suddenly jumped through the fence and began sprinting without warning. King jolted in surprise before groaning and forcing himself to follow. Not even a moment passed before an abomaton had noticed and locked onto the pair, beginning to run their way.
Hey, Luz, not to ruin your plan, but we've got company.
King warned, shakily into Luz's ear. Instantly, she grabs a piece of glyph paper and creates a giant blast of ice, sending the machine flying. By now, the whole yard had been alerted and were massing to try and capture the pair. Luz reached to grab another paper before a loud
"Stop!"
rang out from above and froze her in her tracks. Luz looked up, shielding her eyes from the sun, before making out the lovely sight of Amity, holding the glowing purple necklace that stopped the abomatons at once. Her heart skipped a beat, and time seemed to slow as the prospect of spending all night with such a cutie raced through her imagination.
"Luz, you idiot, the whole neighborhood knows you're here now,"
Amity berated from above. Their eyes met, and Luz blushed without saying a word back. Amity looked away, embarrassed.
"Well, don't just stand there. Get up here quick. I swear, why do you have to be so cute?"
Luz's eyes widened, and her heart did a somersault. What did you say, Amity?" she almost whispered. Amity gasped and turned bright red.
It was nothing. Just get up here so you aren't hurt."
Luz smiled sweetly and began to move when suddenly a new voice called from inside the mansion. Amity, what is the meaning of this?" Amity began to panic and looked around frantically, trying to figure out what to do.
"Luz, you have any soft glyphs with you?"
Amity asked hurriedly.
Soft? What?
Luz panicked.
"Well, I sure hope so."
Amity chimed before leaping off the balcony toward Luz and King. Luz gasped and used a vine glyph as quick as she could. It grew tall in moments, and Amity fell right into Luz's arms in a perfect moment of trust.
Heh, not bad for a human.
Luz giggled.
Well, this human wasn't gonna let a cutie witch like you get that face any more red than it already is,
she teased back, winking.
"Not to ruin your little moment here, lovebirds, but we need to leave now."
King chimes in.
"Oh yeah, that,"
Luz says. She managed to sneak in a peck on Amity's cheek before jumping off the vine and making a run for it. Amity didn't know what to say. The feeling reminded her of their dance at Grom. No one else other than Luz made her feel this way, and it was scary, yet exciting. How could such a silly, lovable human invade nearly every thought in her mind like this? It was confusing, but she liked it. The three of them moved quickly and managed to make it out before Amity's mom could see them.
"She's going to see that I'm gone, you know,"
Amity said. Luz grabbed her hand.
"Well, then she's just gonna have to deal with it now, isn't she?"
Luz replied confidently.
"After all, I was just coming to invite you to Ida's New Year's Eve party tonight."
"A New Year's Eve party?"
Amity exclaimed.
"Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to..."
Amity paused when she saw King snickering and Luz raising her eyebrows.
"Always wanted to, go to one,"
she said, calming down.
You know, back in the human realm, we like to watch this giant ball drop. When it reaches midnight, the ball touches the ground, and everyone celebrates,"
Luz exclaimed.
"That's so weird,"
Amity said with a laugh.
You humans have the craziest traditions. That's not the only thing they do at midnight.
King teased, squinting at Luz.
Your little girlfriend here was telling me all about how couples will...
Yeah, King. How couples will, Luz interrupted. Amity looked at her, confused. Couples will, they don't have to, but they kiss? Luz said, while looking away and blushing. Amity donned her typical tomato face again.
Oh, that's interesting.
She replied. There was an awkward silence for a bit, before they finally started to see the owl house appear in the distance. Ooh, looks like we made it. I can't wait to have fun with everyone, especially with you here, Luz said, looking warmly at Amity. The three of them made their way inside, where Ida greeted them.
You kids, glad you could make it. I should have known she would get you here no matter what, Amity.
Ida winked at Luz. King scurried off to the kitchen for snacks, while Luz led Amity to the couch, where decorations and ornaments were all laid out in preparation. It was a cold and damp night. Despite this, the festivities in the owl house were quite lively. Ida had invited them over to celebrate this special day with King. King laid in the corner, sipping some of his usual milk and chatting happily with the girls.
So, how long has this been a thing?
He asked, tilting his head slightly. Amity blushes briefly and rolls her eyes. Luz giggles at her embarrassment and responds, Oh, just a few days now. It's really new, but I couldn't be happier. Don't you feel the same, Amy? She laughs.
Yeah, whatever, I guess.
Amity responds awkwardly, still looking away. Luz snuggles up tighter to Amity.
Must be nice.
King's voice trails off as he speaks.
I mean, yeah, I could totally see you guys together, being so weak and all.
Aw, King, are you a little jealous of what we have? Luz teases the small titan. He groans and dismissively waves, which manages to even draw a small smirk from Amity. Just as she's about to continue teasing him, they are interrupted by everyone's favorite owl lady and her sister.
Alright everyone, it's almost midnight, and so it's time to begin the main event.
She nods to Lilith, who, like a bowler, rolls a large crystal ball into the center of the living room floor. Luz had seen many crystal balls since she began her training under Ida, but this one put the other to shame. If it weren't so clearly made of quartz, it would be more appropriate to call it a small boulder. They all look to Ida, astonished. Luz speaks up. What do we need this for?
This, my dear student, is a dazzle ball. When the clock strikes midnight, it will put on the most amazing light show you could ever imagine.
She continues jubilantly.
The only catch is, we have to charge it up with strong emotional energy, and we only have 10 minutes remaining. And how are we supposed to do that?
Amity chimes in, scrunching her brow slightly.
Like this.
Ida throws a feather like a dart, knocking King's milk from his clutches.
Hey, what are you doing?
He falls to the ground, trying to recover his bottle of milk, but it's too late. It has all spilt onto the wooden floor. King motions like he is going to scream, but nothing comes out. He is filled with true despair. The dazzle ball begins to glow faintly. Ida promptly presents King with a new bottle of milk. He returns to his usual self-confident demeanor.
Don't touch the milk again.
And with that, he hides away behind the couch. So, who has another idea? Lilith asks nonchalantly. Maybe the two lovebirds.
Huh?
Amity turns bright red upon hearing this.
Do not call us that.
Well, I mean, it's kinda true, isn't it, Amy?
Luz coos to her new girlfriend. The dazzle ball begins to glow a little brighter. Ida notices that this plan is working and decides to continue the assault, given the limited time they have to charge the ball.
You know, love is a very strong emotion after all. Please do not say that word. It's what?
Ida continues.
It's too much. Please stop.
Tears begin to well up in Amity's eyes. Ida's eyes widen as she realizes she went too far.
Hold on now. I was just having a little fun. I'm sorry.
Amity hangs her head to hide her face, and Luz hugs her protectively, giving a disappointed look to her teacher. The room hangs silent for a few incredibly awkward moments. Ida looks to her sister to break the ice between the group. Lilith picks up on this cue quite well. The Dazzle Ball seems to be approaching full charge, and we only have a couple minutes left. This seems to lighten the mood as Amity takes a deep breath and returns to her normal self.
It's true, though. I do love Luz. When I first met you, I thought you were the worst thing to ever happen to me. But as time has gone on, I've realized that I just didn't know who I was.
Aw, that's so sweet. Luz gives Amity a fat kiss on the cheek. This once again turns Amity bright red, but this time she smiles. Ida looks on endearingly at the two young witches. Before they can even realize what's happening, there is a blinding flash of light. The Dazzle Ball is risen off the ground and is floating in midair, lighting up the room with streaks of all different shapes, sizes, and colors. King jumps all the way up onto the back of the sofa to watch the show with them. Everyone silently watches the Dazzle Ball, mesmerized. Amity leans her head onto Luz's shoulder as they watch. Lilith puts her arm over Ida's back. After a full minute, the ball begins to slowly lower to the ground. The lighting turns less intense, but more romantic. Amity slowly looks up at Luz, who has already locked on to her eyes.
Go on, kid. Kiss her.
Ida chuckles quietly. As the ball touches the wooden floor, Luz leans in and locks her lips with Amity's. Ida and the other party members smile as the lights fade completely, leaving the room pitch black until Ida claps her hands and the living room lamps come to life. It is a moment none of them will be quick to forget. It's just another special day at the Owl House.